First guest joins me in studio. Mr. Ray Smith is the CEO of TRYF Financial Corporation. TRYF is a stock symbol. Ray, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Donnie.
Now, I'm so pleased that you're here because we've been working on getting you on the show for about a year or more, and so it's tremendous to have you here now. The company, you're basically in the financial services industry to help consumers with their credit. You have prepaid cards, prepaid card management, a lot of different credit products, helping people manage their own credit and their finances. Tell us what the company does.
That's right. The company started in the prepaid card business, and the largest prepaid card company is Green Dot. And our chairman and CFO, Brian Kenyon, started with Green Dot and then founded TRYF. I met Brian several years ago, and I've been in the credit industry, and he learned the prepaid card business. And the alternative credit industry is really the hidden secret out there right now. And it's the reporting of your cell phone, your rent, your utilities, and that type of payment history. And what we did is we partnered up, and now we use a prepaid debit card to track those payments, and we're able to create those trade lines on a credit report.
Now, of course, with the advent of the internet and so much e-commerce going on, there are really millions of people who are shut out from that because they can't qualify for a credit card, right?
That's right. They're considered unbanked or underserved individuals. And we're able to give those prepaid cards to those people so that they can have a virtual bank account. They can give it to their employer for direct deposit. And it functions just like your Bank of America, Wells Fargo ATM card. It's the same type of thing. It just falls under different guidelines, and everyone's able to qualify.
Now, I would have to think that this problem that consumers have been experiencing that we just talked about has been magnified by the recession. I mean, some people basically lost their ability to have credit. Other people had their credit lines completely cut or eliminated. How can you help people in that respect?
Well, that's where our company is really coming to the forefront, because people have been laid off. They're late on their payments. They're foreclosed. They had repos on their credit. And to compound the problem, the banks have increased their minimum FICO score requirements to obtain credit. Well, if you have bad credit and the banks won't lend to people with bad credit, how are you to build your credit? So the only way people can do it now is to have these alternative trade lines reported. Your cell phone, your apartment rent, your insurance. Employers are pulling people's credit to see if they should work at your place. Insurance company pull your credit, and depending on your credit score, that dictates your premium. But yet every month when you make those payments, it doesn't show up on your credit. So that's where we've come in. We've actually patented this process, and in February of this year we filed a provisional patent, and we'll be filing more. And it's the process of capturing data off of a prepaid debit card, having it verified through a third party, and putting it in a score-ready trade line. And it looks just like a traditional credit report.
Interesting.
And the federal law requires that all of these items are to be considered when applying for a loan.
Wow. Again, the company is TRYF Financial Corporation. TRYF is their stock symbol. For more information, you can call us toll-free, 888-259-4449. Now, I would have to say that there's a benefit to businesses for this type of thing. How can businesses benefit from your programs?
MasterCard did a study a few years ago, and it costs on average around $8.63 to process a paycheck for an employee. If the businesses use a debit card and do direct deposit onto these cards, it costs about $3.60 to process it every pay period. So you can save $5 per employee per pay period. So businesses have a tremendous value in our service using the card. And then also, because the economy people are hurting out there, if a business offers their employees a credit builder system process, which we offer, and they attach it to that card, now the employees look at the business like, wow, you're looking out for me, thanks, I didn't know about this. And it's twofold, so it's helping each other.
That's really fabulous. Now, the company recently received a legal opinion from the National Credit Union Administration on alternative credit references. Kind of give us the background on that.
Well, the big secret out there is Reg B, Section 202.6, and it's coined the shoebox credit.
Okay.
And it's a shoebox full of your payments.
Okay.
By law, all lending institutions are required, if a consumer comes in and brings their shoebox full of receipts for their cell phone and their payment history on their rent and all those insurance items and all those payments, by law the banks are required to use that data, consider it. So what we did is we sent the National Credit Union Administration's legal counsel a question saying, if a consumer does come in, what is your opinion on this law? And they rendered the opinion of, yes, all of our credit unions are required by law to consider this data.
That's fabulous. Now, I know, I was at your website, trysera.com, and I noticed something called My Full Credit. What's that?
That's the service where we issue a prepaid debit card, and when you load money onto that card, either through your employer or just transfer money from your normal bank account to that card, and you make your monthly payments, instead of having a shoebox, you actually have a trade line report that when you apply for a loan, the banks can consider this.
Now, Ray, it's got to feel good to be in the industry that you're in. I mean, you're basically in the industry of helping people out, helping them manage their finances.
It is. It's a tremendous feeling. And the big secret for the banks, because this law has been on the books for years, but banks haven't really exposed it or promoted it because they don't want to deal with the cost of verifying this information. And it's really unfortunate because there's a lot of consumers, college kids, people that are new to this country, people that just pay cash for items that don't have a credit and can't tap into the finances of credit because they choose to pay cash or what have you. And this is our solution.
Well, now, I know the company had recently entered into a licensing agreement with something called Simply Budgets. What can you tell us about that?
That's right. Our whole focus is to get people to take action, take charge of their own personal finances. One, you're making your daycare and your rent and your insurance payments every month. Get credit for those payments.
Okay.
The other thing is money's tight for all families. People are hurting. And I found this company called Simply Budgets, and they by far had the best budgeting process that I've ever seen. Most budgeting softwares have a system where you start off with what you make, and then you budget it down to zero. Well, inevitably, you're going to crash because you don't have all your payments in there. So what this system does is you, instead of focusing on how much you make, what do you spend? You know when birthdays are, you know when anniversaries are. So you put all these payments into this software, when they're due, how much your cell phone is, the approximate, your insurance and all that, and you click generate, and it generates your budget for the next 12 months from today forward.
Wow.
And it'll tell you how much you need in your bank account so that you're never negative. The way the system works now is you get your bank statement, you look at it, you have $480 in your account, and you go, man, I wonder if I have enough money to take my wife to the movie.
Sure.
Well, now you can look at your budget and say, yeah, I got a surplus.
Perfect.
I know how much I need tomorrow. I need $400, so I got $83 I can spend tonight.
Or I can rent a movie.
or for sure.
TRYF Financials, TRYF. Got about a minute left. Ray, why is it a good time for people to take a closer look at your company?
Well, our company is set up for the investors, for the customers, both. Our revenue is generated because we charge the consumers a monthly fee, $9.95 a month, to use our system to create these trade lines. So I only have to sell people once, and I get paid every month off of that. So the investors are there. Our country's in economic crisis right now. We need to be the stimulating party to help consumers go access credit. Get the banks to start lending to these people. Show their true credit worthiness to the American public.
Once again, TRYF Financial, TRYF is their symbol. We're initiating coverage of this company. This is going to be exciting over the next 3 months while we follow what you do. Thanks so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you for letting me be here, Donnie.